If there's one salad dressing that has captured the hearts and taste buds of Americans more than any other, it's ranch. Creamy, tangy, and versatile, ranch salad dressing has moved far beyond just topping a bowl of lettuce. It's used as a dip for pizza, wings, fries, vegetables, and just about anything you can imagine. In fact, ranch dressing has become the most popular salad dressing in the United States, outselling Italian, French, and even vinaigrettes by a wide margin. But like many food icons, ranch has an origin story that begins not in a corporate kitchen or fancy restaurant, but in a much humbler setting. To answer the question, who invented ranch salad dressing, we need to travel back to the early 1950s, to a remote ranch in the mountains of California, where one man and his wife unintentionally started a flavor revolution. Let's explore, right here, on History of Simple Things. The story begins with a man named Steve Henson. Born in Nebraska in 1918, Henson was not a professional chef or food scientist. He actually worked in construction, but he had a natural knack for creating flavorful food. During the late 1940s, Steve moved to Alaska, where he worked as a plumbing contractor. While on the job, he often had to feed his work crews. To keep them satisfied, he experimented in the kitchen and eventually developed a unique buttermilk-based dressing. This dressing combined buttermilk, mayonnaise, and a special mix of herbs and spices, which gave it a rich, tangy, and herby flavor unlike anything most people had tasted before. His crew loved it, and though he didn't know it yet, he was planting the seeds for what would become America's favorite dressing. After spending a few years in Alaska, Steve and his wife Gail moved to California. In 1954, they bought a 120-acre ranch near Santa Barbara, which they named Hidden Valley Ranch. At the time, their ranch operated as a guest ranch, offering visitors a chance to stay, relax, and experience the outdoors. But it wasn't just the scenery that attracted guests, it was the food. Steve and Gail would serve meals to their visitors, and the star of the dining table was always Steve's special dressing. Guests couldn't get enough of it. They poured it over salads, dipped their vegetables in it, and even spread it on meats and breads. Word began to spread, and soon people weren't just coming to Hidden Valley Ranch for the stay. They were coming for the dressing. Demand grew so strong that Steve and Gail began making batches of the dressing for guests to take home. Eventually, they realized they couldn't keep up with the demand by bottling it themselves, so they developed a dry seasoning mix instead. Guests could buy packets of the dry mix, take them home, and combine it with mayonnaise and buttermilk to recreate the beloved ranch dressing in their own kitchens. This innovation allowed the Hensons to sell ranch dressing far beyond the borders of their ranch. By the mid-1960s, Hidden Valley Ranch dressing mix was being sold through mail order, and it quickly became a nationwide sensation. What started as a small guest ranch product was transforming into a household name. In 1972, the Hidden Valley Ranch brand became so successful that Steve Henson sold it to the Clorox company for a reported $8 million. Clorox saw the massive potential in the product and invested in mass production and distribution. They improved the shelf stability of the dressing, eventually creating a bottled version that could be sold in grocery stores without requiring refrigeration. This was a turning point. Ranch dressing was no longer just a regional specialty. It was now accessible to every American household. The name Hidden Valley Ranch remained, paying homage to its rustic beginnings, but the product itself had become a nationwide staple. From that point on, ranch dressing skyrocketed in popularity. By the 1980s and 1990s, it wasn't just a salad dressing anymore. It had become a dip, a topping, and even a marinade. Pizza chains began offering ranch as a dipping sauce, fast food restaurants added it to their menus, and snack companies developed chips and crackers flavored with ranch seasoning. Today, ranch is so ingrained in American food culture that it's almost impossible to imagine a world without it. From traditional salads to wild food combinations like ranch-flavored soda and even ranch ice cream, the dressing has evolved far beyond Steve Henson's original recipe. Yet, the essence remains the same, a creamy, tangy, herb-filled dressing that started on a quiet ranch in California. But what exactly made ranch dressing so irresistible compared to other dressings? Part of it comes down to flavor balance. The base of mayonnaise and buttermilk provides a creamy and tangy foundation. The herbs, often parsley, dill, and chives, add freshness, while garlic and onion powders bring savory depth. The result is a dressing that feels indulgent, yet still has brightness and zest. Unlike sweeter dressings such as Thousand Island or sharper ones like vinaigrettes, ranch hits a middle ground that appeals to almost every palate. It complements rather than overpowers food, which makes it incredibly versatile. This perfect balance explains why ranch managed to surpass competitors and become the reigning king of dressings. Of course, ranch dressing has its critics too. Some culinary purists argue that Americans rely on ranch too much, drowning foods in it rather than enjoying them on their own. Others dismiss it as overly processed or unhealthy, especially in its mass-produced form. Yet, despite these critiques, ranch continues to dominate. Surveys consistently show it as the top-selling dressing in the United States, and its fan base is so passionate that it has become a cultural symbol. Ranch has appeared in memes, merchandise, and even novelty products, proving that it's more than just food. It's a phenomenon. So who invented ranch salad dressing? The answer is simple. It was Steve Henson, a plumber turned rancher with a love for good food and a talent for mixing flavors. What began as a humble recipe to satisfy a work crew in Alaska turned into a billion-dollar industry that has reshaped the way Americans eat. The next time you dip a slice of pizza into ranch or drizzle it over your salad, you're tasting a piece of culinary history that started on a little ranch in California. Hidden Valley may have been the birthplace, but ranch dressing has long since become a part of America's hidden treasure, the food traditions that bring comfort, flavor, and joy to millions. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.